Starting soon. 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 I can't sing ding 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 ding. I can't sing ding 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 ding. I can't sing ding 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 ding. I can't sing. Okay, everything seems to be online now. I thought perhaps my internet wasn't working today. But it is. It's working. My keyboard do 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 do. My keyboard do 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 do. My keyboard do 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 do. My keyboard. Space Goonie. Space Goonie dee 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 dee. Space Goonie dee 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 dee. Space Goonie dee 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 dee. Space Goonie. That one works. All right. Venus adjusting brightness. Oops. CTK. CTKKK. Nope, you're not supposed to say KKK a bunch of times. Karate lessons. All right. Feel like it's been a long time. Let's see if these buttons work. Buttons seem to work. I forget where all my buttons are. Oh, that's a great excuse to not have anything to do. Just say, I'm just over here looking at buttons. Maybe my buttons will work later on. It's working. I know what I'm doing. And I learned how to do this. I didn't learn how to do that. This is in an awkward position. So I press on this keyboard, it'll press on my screen. And, you know, everything won't work anymore. Play it for B. I'm a cat doo 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 doo. I'm a cat doo 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 doo. I'm a cat doo 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 doo. I'm the cat. I say la 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 la. I say la 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 la. I say la 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 la. Good stuff. That's entertainment. Ripley, what do you think about that? Ripley, where's your button? There you are, sweetest angel. Are you ready with the intro? Can we start to go to the things? Meow, meow, meow. All right, fine. You get yours too. Meow. Pleasure sharks swimming by. Frost dissolving. Hi, my name is Curtis. Always joined by Milo, the jerk. And thanks for stopping by, everybody. Today we're going to draw a comic strip, I think, about Panthor. Since last week we did Cringeor, and keeps changing all of her names. Hey, CTK. The hell is her name again? Go to my Instagram. It's usually there. Instagram. Do. Oh, that's gonna be stuck in my head all forever now. Can't remember. The daughter of Tyr or Tyre or whatever that is. Hey, Pat. Whoa, already. Yeah. After last week, when I did a... And Pat Pruis subscribes again. After I did a Cringeor last week, the daughter of Tyr sent me a little video of her little He-Man toy collection with a little Panthor and a little Skeletor, and she's like, "I need a Panthor comic," and it's just like, oh my god, you just mentioning that kind of made me think of one that will only be relatable if you are from the 80s/90s and you do remember that the Panthor was this like covered in this like velvety material. He was all like not nice and smooth, which is somewhat odd because Gringer's the good guy. Want to give him the fur, but that purple Panthor was awesome. I believe I did have him. I didn't have Cringer, but I had the bad uh, vehicle monster thing for Skeletor. Space Goonie ordered, I believe, one of the Space Kitten shirts from the store. Do I have a store commercial on here? I don't think that I do. I'm going to make a new one of those. But that's society6.com/Mr. Cartoons. Same as this. And if you go and follow at the Instagram, there's a link tree that will lead you there. If you're on Twitch, right down below in the About section, there's a, pretty sure I updated it, but there's a link there. And where else? On YouTube, I think there's some links there. If anything, there's at least still links over the Instagram. Everything is bestly linked from the Instagram. But yeah, apparently the shirts, my store is in Texas. I had no idea. I thought when I set it up, I picked it because it was in Canada, but I believe I picked it because it had the lowest shipping rates and or the lowest prices that I could find on the internet. Yeah, I got a few myself, like the one that CTK mentioned, where she's like, "Oh, that on a shirt would be great." Is the fuck down? What is her name? Farrah Fawcett. So this version on a shirt, except with the not a Dilophosaur, the one that I can't say, Paraphilophosor, Parasaurolophilus, Parasaurolophilus, but whatever. The one with the cone thing on its head, the pompadour. I got one of those. I was wearing that the other day because I forgot that I'd order one for myself, and the sexy Luigi, sexy green plumber, for the purposes of not infringing on copyrights. And speaking of Texas, I got a bunch of notes left over from last week, and all kinds of things to talk about. Because I mean, and yeah, so that's how crass. How crass would it be? Oh, how crass would it be for you to suggest, hey, purchasing a shirt from you would actually increase the economy of somebody in Texas, and that's the worst and saddest way possible to help people in Texas is by buying a shirt from you. I mean, technically, I only get a little bit. That company gets most of the money from to run their Texas company in Texas. But yeah, that's super crass, and I'm not going to do that. I'm just saying that's where the shirts come from, and Texas is going through some trouble right now. And did not want to open up all of that. Close. But yeah, on the weekend or sometime last week, well, for the past few weeks, remember 3 weeks ago when I did a stream, 2 weeks ago, whatever it's been, when I was like, hey, we're all Texas companies when it comes to troubled times in the world. But yeah, remember when I was like, hey, super juice, drinking my super juice, putting all kinds of different fruits and vegetables in it so that I don't get a cold or a flu and keep the COVIDs away. And I was like, You know what's great? I went and I Googled a bunch of vegetables and their powers. And plus, Tim was saying, hey, did you put ginger in it? I'm like, no, why would I put ginger in it? Hey, turns out ginger sounds like it has lots of powers and whatnot. And then during that stream, I was like, wow, I can like feel the ginger clearing out my sinuses. I was dead wrong. I was crazy wrong, I think. This is still mostly speculation, because you know how you wake up every morning and you're afraid you're going to die, or you're afraid that you're dying, and you go to sleep every night and you're like, oh, I hope I don't die, or I'm not dying. You know how we all do that, right? All of us, every one of us. No, that's mostly just some people, but yeah, no, that's mostly just you that are constantly afraid of things all the time. But I'm sure you're going to talk about signing up for online therapy as part of today's show as well. Yeah, definitely, probably am. So, starting that night, like right after the stream, I'm just like, do I have a cold now? Did I just spend an hour and a half or 2 hours, whatever that stream was, talking about how, oh, I'm just grinding up and drinking all of the fruits and vegetables and getting all the vitamins and all the energon that I can, and just be powerful and as healthy as humanly possible. I'm like, this close to like Chris Traeger. I think that's the right name, but the Parks and Rec, uh, can't remember his real name now, but how Chris Traeger was all just like, oh my god, like I have a sniffle, like all I do is drink all these vitamins and whatever. I've been kind of doing that in that weird mode where I'm just like, doing it too much, or to the point where I'm just like, anything else is unacceptable. Um, so yeah, I just felt like, well, I just can't breathe anymore. What's going on? Like, and it just kept getting worse. And in the morning, I get up and like, oh, I feel pretty good. Guess I'll drink some juice. Make sure to put some of that ginger in there, because that's great. And then I'd sit and I'd try to work, and like 20 minutes later, I was like, oh, I'm getting lots of work done. This is great. Like, almost forgot to drink my juice. Slurp. Oh, almost finished this glass. I'll have to go get another glass of super juice. Oh my god. I'm literally bloop, 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 literally dripping from my nose onto my tablet. Like, what? Oh, well, now I can't breathe anymore. Tristan. I was gonna say anxiety pills. Dayquil, Nyquil for bedtime. Then it's like, this just isn't working anymore. Like, all right, just sinus pills. Like, all right, just sinus pain. Like, that's not doing anything. And then last night, I went and I got some Reactin. Yeah, that's a thing. I got some Reactin, and as I was getting it, I was like, I don't know. Hey, Amanda. Amanda just got a tattoo at 3 o'clock today, or 3:30. She posted on Facebook. Just to sidestep. Let's go over to the other camera, Pat. No, wrong camera. Just to sidestep for a second. She posted on Facebook like, hey, I was gonna get this wave tattoo because she's obsessed with like the beach and the waves. And in order to get her head straight, she's got to go near the water. And I realized, hey, I have that same thing. And that's when I started going for a walk down to the park here. And there's a stream, and I can go to the water. I'm just like, oh, everything's great if you just go to the water and just listen to the water go for a minute, and also going for a walk, and you feel better about anything, and you stop being afraid that you're going to die for a little while. Until you see somebody partially fall through the ice and like, oh no, somebody else is going to die today. Should I do something, or should I just watch? Because I sat on the edge of where the waterfall is down at the park here, and the water wasn't deep, but there's these two, like, I don't know, beyond teenagers, but not adults, like, between 16 and 19, I'll say, a girl and a guy. And he was like, do, I'm just going to step over onto this icy thing. And in my head, I'm just like, he's not going to walk away from this without at least going knee deep through this ice. I can see from here, so I'm just going to sit here and watch. I'm tempted to say, hey, you're going to go through the ice, but it's like, keep your dad vibes out of here, old man. We got to learn on our own, and I'm probably not going to die falling through this ice. You've fallen through ice before. You survived. So let it happen. And also, it's probably going to be funny. So he takes a step, and sploosh, one leg goes in. He looks over at his friend, and he's just like, what? And she's like, what? And then he's just like, tries to pull himself up with the other foot, but that's too much, you know, uneven weight now. So now that force is pushing that other foot down through the ice, which is mostly slush. It's really barely even ice. And I'm just like, yep, that's just basically what I thought was going to happen. Then he was just kind of doing this thing where just like, oh no, I'm a 3-year-old baby and I'm trying to take my first steps and I don't know what's going to happen, but we all know you're going to fall on your bum. And so he fell on his bum, boom, that goes into the ice. And then he's just sitting there like, this is cold. Like, yep, it's definitely cold. And then he like looks at his friend like, well, help me. And she's like, okay. And then she kind of pulls him up. And I start to run down and I'm like, oh, they got this. And away they go. And as they walked away, I said, that was awesome. And it was for me. It was great. He seemed fine. It wasn't wretchedly cold out or anything. It was just like, when you fall through some ice water, you're already showing up wearing like pants that are too short and socks that are way too small to be going ice walking. That's just how it goes. You just don't. You just don't. The amount of people I see around here in the dead of February where I'm literally like, oh yeah, every February I can't breathe because it gets so dry and cold. And they're just like, well, February, I'm just going to throw my shorts on and a little pair of socks and I'm going to go hiking through the snow. Okay. Going to wear a big parka and stuff? Yep. I never use the word parka, but sometimes you just got to use the word parka. Anyway, you sidestepped away from your sidestep. I sure did. So yeah, this morning, Amanda posts a picture of these 3 waves. One wave that's just a rando little wave line from the internet that she found. Another one that was drawn by, or at least tattooed on, Edward Vedder. And and then then the third one was one that she did. It's kind of a combination, but more or less like her version of the Eddie Vedder wave. So I was just like, well, that's still kind of sketchy. Who knows what you're going to get when you go to the tattoo place. So I dropped that in my computer real quick, traced over it a handful of ways, and then slid it back over. So then also, if you do use this, then I'm a part of it as well. So then it makes it special on top of that. And that's also good. And yeah, so then she was like, that's awesome. This is what I want. And then I sent the fourth one, which is just a cleanup of the one that she did, with a nice vector line. And she's like, oh, actually, this one, perfect. She's like, change of plans, I'm getting this. Like, awesome. Like, no pressure, didn't have to, but I just figured it'll take me 9 minutes to clean this up. So I did. And then she's like, oh my God. It's like, yeah, I'm taking this. I'm doing this, like, at 3 o'clock. Like, today at 3 o'clock? That's bananas. And then shortly thereafter, sent a picture of a little wave on her hand. And I can probably load that up on my phone. On my phone. On my phone. Where do I keep messages? Where's Messenger? What is Messenger called? Messenger? I'm gonna throw this next to the camera. Here we go. That's on her hand already. And the dumb part about it, looks awesome, is, oh, it's not gonna be done with like a tattoo needle gun. It's somebody's gonna stab me. Gonna do the old prison style, like going to a place to do it that's proficient in doing it that way. But I didn't know that was a thing that you paid money for. I thought you only did it in the stabby way when you were like at some weirdo's apartment in the backwoods somewhere, or because you're in jail and they're doing makeshift tattoos. But as we've discussed in the past, Manda's crazy. Manda's a little bit crazy. She's a little bit rock and roll, and I'm a little bit country over here. And she's kind of hey, how do I get more stabbing into my life? Oh, that's a service I can request? Excellent. And will be a picture when I'm done? Even better. So, and of course, I thought, I was kind of just waiting for CTK to say either, oh, one of hers is one, or she definitely wants one as well. But yeah, no thanks. I still feel like I should go and get mine filled back in. It's probably all fadey and weird because it was all fadey and weird like the day after I got it. But it's like right on my spine, and it's just like that was awful. It wasn't awful for a long time, but I'm also terrified to go to the dentist that they'll be like, "Oh, we're gonna start taking out some wisdom tooth." Like it's already kind of too late. They've already moved everything around, and that's fine. So let's just deal with what's probably a cavity in there. Anyway. Uh, uh, I'm a sawed-off nut. She's a crazy meat tray. That's an inside story that we've probably talked about before. But anyway, let's drift back to the world of Texas. My friend Mike White, who's been in the chat here a few times before. We've done some Mike White centric streams before, where we just told stories about Mike White because Mike White seems to have these miraculous, just accidental adventures. Like he said or admitted that he's like, oh yeah, he's like, I didn't really hang out with Zach Galifianakis and Doug Benson that time. Like, they just kind of wanted to go back to their hotel room. Like, you know that much because you were still hanging out with them a little bit, you know. And again, you didn't know who they were until you were like, hey, I went to this comedy show. I don't know what was going on, but anyway, my friends are all weird millionaires for some reason, and we just end up doing weird millionaire type things. But I'm just Mike Whiting around, and I don't know. I just keep referencing Han Solo, and they treat me like I'm a 9-year-old. But they still keep hanging out with them. I'm not sure if Mike still streams over at Mike White Robot, but I know on Instagram and on Facebook there's still Mike White Robot, and I should have grabbed his graphic novel. He's working on a new one now. And I'm sure it will be fantastic and fun, like everything Mike White does. So, not too long ago, Mike White's like, hey, everybody, I'm moving to Texas. Hey, everybody, I live in Texas now. I was already mad at you for moving to San Francisco because, again, America is a little bit scary to me. And especially when he's like, no, it's fine. I just live in this area that overlooks the place where shootings happen a lot. I've got bars on my windows. It's great. It doesn't sound great. It sounds scary. No, but it's great. Oh, Mike White. Oh, Mike White. That guy with crazy adventures, that his weird apartment, that his adorable little dog and cat. Not as adorable as me, of course, but, still pretty adorable. Hey guys, did you forget that you were working on a TED voice and you'd already totally forgot it? Sure did, Ted. Sure did. Meant to finally sit down and watch some Bill and Ted. Ended up watching a thing about Bill and Ted, the animated series, and the live action TV show, both of which were canceled. And hearing some of the voices, where I'm just like, oh yeah, I should watch that and practice that voice. And not talk about surfing and bra a lot. And I completely didn't think about the things that Tedward should say. But yeah, I messaged Mike White and I was like, "Hey, Mike White, what's up, dog? What's up? Are you okay? I'm already just worried about you in general, and as much as I worry about myself, like, one notch below, maybe one notch above my own worry. That's where I place Mike White out in the world somewhere, because he's ambiguous, ambivalent. I think is the word, to sarcasm, and just, if he just believes everything, and it's one of the things that's magical and great about Mike White. Is just like the nicest, most generous, helpful guy in the world, and I know I have a bit of that as well, but still, I'm just like, be careful, Mike White, be careful. So anyway, I'm like, are you okay? Is everything okay, Mike White? Like, the radio man, who I hate listening to, he's the worst radio man in town, but he's talking about the ceiling fans with the ice dripping down. And I've seen the pictures on the Instagram. Um, how you doing, Mike White? Because he moved there, and then like 2 days later was like, well, I still have a full-time job here. Plus, I'm trying to make comics. Anyway, this is my candle. Hope the power comes back on. But he wrote back and he was like, no, he's like, I'm doing fine. The power was out for a minute, but the people I'm staying with, luckily, the pipes didn't freeze. The only pipes that froze were to the irrigation system, like, and we could just turn that off. Like, all right, that's pretty good. He's like, but yeah, it's pretty bad for everybody else. Like, Mike White is pretty lucky and pretty great. I was like, of course you are. It's like, you're a Ben Stiller movie. You're some weird secret sitcom that some millionaires are watching and paying for and just Truman showing you, I think. And there's just a secret HBO Max for millionaires and billionaires that watch Mike White's misadventures just in making things and doing things and hanging out with other millionaires. And it's always amazing. Like every time he's just like, oh yeah, did I mention this thing? Like that's the craziest, biggest thing in the world. Like how is that just a sentence? One of these days we have to sit down and we're just gonna record an audiobook that is just the I had some good alliteration, but it was just the mysterious misadventures of Mike White or something like that. But oh, totally. He's fully Mike White magooing around. It's crazy. So I should have. Oh, I can just click over to it. The power of a phone. It has all the information, no matter where you roam. So what do we have? What do we have here? Um. So yeah, it was like hey, so you're doing okay, right? Like, yep, I got power. We're fine over here. Oh, by the way, the founder of WordPress has a house here in Houston and is friends with my buddy who I'm staying with. His house is solar powered and totally off the grid. So he invited us over for dinner and we used all the lights. Of course you did. Oh my god. There's not even just like we went. Hey, we went to some guy's house. I don't know. He had enough money to. He was like, oh, also he was like the founder, one of the founders of WordPress. You know that thing that was like the biggest thing in the world. And yeah, so he lives in a magical little Shangri-La. So we just went there for dinner because that's what I do. I go to dinner at the amount of weird meetings where he's like, oh, you know that guy who created Candy Crush? Like, yeah, turns out like, or not Candy Crush, but Bejeweled when that was a big thing. And he was just like, oh yeah, that guy. Like I used to like share a desk with him for a while because he was like, I'm tired of Bejeweled, so I just started working here. So what's up? Like, what are your ideas, Mike White? Like, what? And then some other meeting where he was like, oh, I just went to this company. I was just meeting with people. And then next thing I know, like the CEO who doesn't even come to that building came in and just like, what is this? What is this guy all about? He seems very interesting. Tell me more. And then when he finally left, they were like, what was that? And Mike's like, what? He was like, that guy doesn't talk to anybody. You need to make like 17 meetings between 17 people before you can unlock the door to get to the Gandalf that says you shall not pass, and then you still shall not pass to meet that guy. You just talked to him for like an hour like you were best friends. Mike was like, oh, didn't know it was him. I don't know anything. Just anyway, somebody slide a girder in front of me because I'm just going to walk over here because it's baby's day out for Mike White every day, all day. And then my reactions, things me talking about Mike White, and then Mike White. Did I tell you? Did I offhandedly mention that one of the where is it? I went camping. I went camping there this one time. Just in the backyard, though, in the backyard of this guy's house. But he was like one of the first guys to invest in Uber. So, you know, the guy who created Uber and, you know, has all the money from Uber. So, yeah, we just went camping in his backyard because that's what they were all about. And then that's where I was one night, just camping at the Uber guy's backyard. Like, okay, cool. You're the craziest. Excuse me. Life in Texas hasn't been bad. I am magic. He always blames it on Jizo. So that's still cool. It's one of the reasons I can't say bad things about Jizo ever, because it works for Mike White. It works for Mike White all the time. Um, and then the other thing was, oh yeah, I don't know. I don't watch reality TV shows. I don't know anything about anything anymore. I mostly just watch YouTube stuff now, and I spent most of last week watching the history of '80s toys and cartoons, and some movies that we definitely have to talk about. But yeah, he's like, "Have you seen the show Bling Empire?" Which definitely sounds like a show uh, that is definitely about people who have some sort of empire of bling, i.e., diamond encrusted Rolls Royces and Tesla mobiles. So yeah, my buddies, my buddy's friend or whatever, they're on that show. That's the thing that they do is they're just so rich that people follow them around while they make money. So it was like, cool. Well, when you end up in the background of a scene, send me a clip of that episode because what? Why isn't there? Why isn't there a Mike White show? And I know that there already is one, and there's just invisible billionaire drones following him around, and they're loving it. They're loving every minute of it, I'm sure. But I don't know. Don't know. Those are my Mike White stories. I definitely, when I was thinking about talking about Mike White stories, was thinking of some of the actual things that me and Mike White did, or his other stories from the past that I know, and I've forgotten all of that. Because yeah, like I said, um, segued away once again. Mike White, pretty much. There's a handful of people that I have to say their first and last name, and Mike White was one of those people that is just like, this is Mike White. Like, well, you introduced him as Mike White. I'm going to call him Mike White for the rest of our lives. And I didn't know I was going to talk to this guy ever again after that first interaction. It was just like, you got to train this guy to animate. Like, he seems to know what he's doing. Hey, Mike White, train these other people to do things the way you do it, because you're awesome. And then eventually one day I was like, hey, Mike White, I don't want to be a supervisor anymore or a director or whatever my job was. It's your job now. I'm taking your job as supervisor and you direct because I hate this. I hate this. I don't want to be in charge of people anymore. I'm going to smash a computer. I hate this. And he's like, I'll smash a computer. I don't want to do this, like, but it'll be fun for me to watch you smash a computer. I'll feel bad if I smash a computer. And, I'll feel bad if it's my fault that I ruined your life. But, directing people sucks. It just sucks. Oh, but you can decide everything that I say and do every day of the week, all the time, every time. It's only on Tuesdays. Only on Tuesdays. Fine. So, still haven't drawn anything yet. Uh, um, yeah, Pat's in that world. Being directing, it's awful. My job at Streamlabs, which I am taking a break from to kind of self direct myself, making a movie for Moxie Fox, who's occasionally in here, um, is, uh, is much better. Other than for the last 3 weeks, I got my super juice. And yeah, like I said, I have started working one morning. I did like a whole scene. I'm just like, this is the greatest animation I've ever done. I'm so impressed with myself right now. All I really have to finish is an arm. I just have to finish like just drawing an arm, not even really animating it. I just have to slap an arm on top of this old lady character, and I'm good for the day. And or whatever. That's the beginning of the day. I still have so much day left. Like this is the best. And then it's just like my nose just started dripping, like a rainfall. Like this is bananas. And then you just start sniffing and trying to sniff it back and blowing my nose to the point where I'm just like, oh my god, I've blown my nose so many times now that eventually blood's gonna come out, right? Like how many more nose blows do I have before it's just brain matter or my innards? Like this is beyond Thunderdome, and I can't. And again, I was like, do I go to the hospital? And thanks to Avocado Shakes so long ago saying, hey, here's the link to go get yourself on the waiting list for a family doctor in Nova Scotia. And then a few weeks ago, I Googled, hey, what's up with family doctors in Nova Scotia? And the article was like a few months old. And I was like, oh, it's actually going pretty good. You know, there was like 5,200 people on the list, and like 1,200 people were placed. So that's great. It's actually moving quite swiftly. But in the time that those 1,200 people were placed with new family doctors, another like 1,400 people were added to the list, and I'm definitely within the latter stages of that 1,400 based on when that article was written, and I'm just like, oh snaps, because I really hate having to go to the emergency to be like, yep, that guy's chopped his finger off. That person's definitely got some serious problems. What about you? Real scared about things? Can I just ask you a question? Like, what's up with this? And I forget what the show was, but oh, it was an old episode of Mock the Week, yet another British panel show, and James Acaster was talking about how he's a hypochondriac, and how he had to like kind of stop being a hypochondriac because he went to the doctor and was like, "Hey, doctor, what's this? Like, what's up with this? What's the deal with this?" And he said, the doctor, like, honestly, through gritted teeth, said, "That's your hip." And he's like, I gotta stop doing this then, because I also definitely do that sometimes where I'm just like, what is this? What's going on here? Oh, that's how elbows are shaped. That's just another part of, I should really know that by now. And then when I saw him do that, and it was just like, that's why I need a family doctor, because the emergency isn't for that. And the walk-in clinic barely exists. It's the worst, especially, again, in the land of COVID times. I don't know, and everything feels like COVID time. But, meow. Oh, snaps. So, yeah. So, every single day, the past 3 weeks, I'm like, oh my god, like I have to beat this sinus thing. I have to beat this cold. So I'm gonna try adding a little more ginger, cause it seems to be kind of strong, and it's definitely gonna clear out my sinuses. And then 20 minutes later, just like, my eyes are so itchy, and I just want to lay down and give up on everything. And then it was like 12 hours later, I'm just like, I'm still trying to put this one arm on this character. I did this whole sequence in like less than an hour. 2 characters doing stuff. Effects, background design, everything. It's colored, all of it. And I was just like, I just need to put a little arm on here. That's all I gotta do is put a little arm on here. But the skin on my nose is just flaking off. And I'm gonna just get a fork and scratch my eyes. And I can't breathe anymore. Like, it's just solidly impacted. Like, what is going on? I'm just jamming Dristan, Drixenol or something, whatever it is, as far out my nose as I can go, and just power blasting that, and it's just coming back out because it's a wall of impenetration. That's not the way that word goes, but I don't care. And I did my sinus rinse, and just like, and I mean, seriously, like the sinus rinse is normally like take the squeeze bottle. It's got this little nose thing. You mix some water and this little nasal cleaning stuff, and you like you squeeze it, and it goes in one nose and it comes out the other nose, and it's disgusting. But for the most part, it's usually like, hey, I just cleaned out my sinuses. And for like a solid week, it was just like, all right, maybe this will do something. And where you screw the top squeezy part onto the bottle part, it was just like spraying out from there because it's just not getting through anything. It's just like, okay, cool. So am I gonna die? Is this a tumor? Because, you know, I don't think you can Dristan away a tumor, and it would usually clear up after a while. And again, it's February, and I do this every February when it gets dry and cold. But this one was just like, this is like, why am I so itchy? And then one, I'm just like, I can't even put Vicks near my face anymore because it's just, my nose is just so raw, it's just burning. It was like, I can't blow my nose, I can't do anything anymore. And I don't know what to do, and I can't go to outpatients and be like, my nose is stuffed up. Hold on, guy with his finger cut off. My nose. Hey, guy with a saw blade embedded in his skull. Calm down a second. I got some boogies in my nose. So, yeah. Uh, last night I went, and also throughout the week I'm just like, well, I don't have a cold. I definitely don't have a cold. My sinus is just plugged up because of the dryness and the winteriness, and it hasn't rained in a little while, so it's just been dry, and the apartment's dry. So I got a humidifier. I've never had one of those before. Those freak me out because it is just like, this is just going to create some kind of mold, and then I'm going to shoot that into the air, and I'm just going to be breathing in weird humidifier mold. And also, I definitely need it while I sleep. Well, this one says it's going to last 8 hours. Sleep through the night, but also don't leave it unattended because it's just boiling water. Machine, whatever, that plugs into the wall. So I'm like, well, how am I can't sleep while I've got a boiling thing on all night. So I mean, it makes a nice little noise that is kind of like, this should be relaxing, but I'll turn it on before I go to sleep and then turn it off, and then wake up in the morning, or in the middle of the night, then turn it off, and I'll just be like, I guess I'll just lay here being somewhat awake, hoping that I can breathe in the morning. And then again, once the ginger's out of my system, half the time it's like, hey, I can breathe again. One day I think I was just too lazy to make juice, so then I was like, the next day I'm like, I feel fine. I feel totally fine. This is fine. I guess I'll go make some juice now and get back to being healthy juice filled. And then again, it's just like, what is going on? And never Dr. House putting two and two together and going, I bet you don't realize that the one major change in your juice game, in your food, in your apartment is just this ginger. It's the only thing that's different. So it has to be that. So yeah, I went to the pharmacy last night. I keep wanting to adjust this one, and and as I'm going through like the different sinus stuff, I'm like, I'm gonna get something for allergies. This just has to be. I don't even know. Like the apartment, I've dusted, I've vacuumed. There's just no reason for this. I don't unsubscribe. Is what I do to this, and as I'm getting the reactant for like congestion and sinus and itchy, watery eyes, and I'm just like, ginger? It's got to be the ginger. It's the only thing. It's the only thing. So this morning, I took the ginger and I threw it in the garbage. I took my blender, washed it all out, took all of my dishes, washed them all out again to make sure there was no ginger residue in there. And still a bit stuffed up today, but taking the reactant made it fine. And so far, not so bad. So it's just like, all right, guess I'll just blame the ginger. Tried my best. Went back to my usual ingredients: lemons, orange. I forgot bananas. Kale, a little bit of cauliflower, a little bit of broccoli, a little bit of hemp hearts for protein, and whatever else is in there. And yeah, and that's what this is. My metal reusable straw. that I also kind of hate. It's too hard of a straw. Mystery solving gang, trying to breathe. 'Cause we don't need no ginger. Shove it up your minge, sir. Don't call me cringer. Not that I'm against ginger or Marianne. But yeah, karate lessons, loves ginger. Lots of people do. I mean, I didn't love it anyway. It didn't make my juice taste better, but it made me feel like, you know, I was cranking it up a notch. But sometimes, some crimes go slipping through the cracks. But also, some waterfalls don't need to be chased. You can just stick to the rivers and the raspberries that you're used to. And I'm gonna make a waterfalls shirt design there soon enough as well. But yeah, like I said, I haven't drawn anything in like 3 weeks. Like just every time I could barely even watch TV, or I'm just like, I hate everything. I can't even focus on this. I just want to claw my face off. And at a certain point, I realized slash remembered. Further in that, oh yeah, because I have intermittent psoriasis and whatnot, I've got a epic collection of uh, moisturizers and aloe and whatnot. I'm just like, hey, I bet I could put one of these on my nose and they will moisturize it since that's what they're designed to do. And I did, and also felt much better. And that's this week's adventures in sinus pain. What a, what a, I'll let you say it. Yeah, what a terrible live stream. Hey guys, have you all tuned into that live stream where that guy talks about how he has snots in his nose and how he deals with it? Oh, it's a great story. That's a real great story. He'll sit there and he just talks about how he was trying to, adjust his nasal cleaning system and buying some humidifiers. The humidifier part, oh, good time. So it's such a super good time. I actually thought it was a good time, guy. Everything is good and positive with Steam. Right on top of that Steam Boogie Bop. But anyway, actual fun stuff. While laying on the couch, hating myself, wishing I was better at breathing, um, I watched some movies. Did you watch some real good movies? Did you take some time to just really enjoy some real good movies? One real good movie, Palm Springs on Amazon. I think it's a Hulu movie actually. Amazing. I loved it. So good. So good. Also, I think if you're making a movie and you can afford to get a J.K. Simmons in there for any length of time, it doesn't matter if he's in there for 2 minutes, if he's in there for the whole movie. He just makes everything better. He's the greatest. He's just the greatest. But I kind of wish I didn't know what the movie was about before I saw it, but I wouldn't have watched it if I didn't know what it was about. But it was fantastic from beginning to end. Like the first 2 minutes, I'm just like, is this gonna be one of these movies where they're just being awkward and gross? And no, I mean kind of, but it's real good, so good. So with one good movie under my belt, then it's time to watch something with dinosaurs, right? Let me see, what was it called? Ah, yes, there was two. The first one that I threw on was called Triassic Park. Because I loaded up a bunch of different movie slash TV channels on my Roku, just to watch. Hey, see what's going on? What's going on? And this one has dinosaurs. It looks like the CG might be fun enough. You know, effects don't have to be the greatest in order to enjoy a movie. So it might be fun. It might be fun, you know. And if it's bad, it might be bad in a fun way. Who knows? Who knows? So I throw it on, and second one, it's it's bad. It's real bad. I did not watch the whole movie. At a certain point, I'm like, all right, let's see what happens every 5 to 15 minutes from this point, and just skipped ahead, watched for a second, like, yep, skipped again. Still, everyone still sucks, and yeah, of course, she's the one that survived. That was probably obvious, but the movie starts, and there's a dinosaur, like kind of T-Rexy ish, Allosaur, not Allosaurus, but like kind of a mini T-Rex type of deal, running through the hallways. And it's just, again, the CG was fine. It wasn't amazing, but it was fine. You know, if I had a CG dinosaur like that in a movie I made, I would be happy. And if I had known somebody in the movie, i.e., like if one of my friends was in it, then yeah, I would have watched it all the way through, and it would have been a fun, hilarious time. But this dinosaur is running around. There's like two or three guys like trying to like chase it down, but they're still like, where did it go? Well, I don't know what's going on. And then it's like, all right, we got it trapped over here. Then it's like, where did it go? Like, how do you not know where it is? You're in a building with cameras surveilling everything, every single line. As soon as they finished it, the next line that character or another character would say would completely contradict every single line. Like, everything was a contradiction immediately. So while this guy's trying to track down this dinosaur that was escaped, um, we get some just very poor exposition of like, oh, this big investor guy's coming to the building. Hey, big investor guy, we've cleared out the building, so it's just minimal staff, so it's just us and you, so you can like see the place. Like, of course you did. There's definitely no reason for that at all, other than we only have 7 actors to make this movie with, so that's how we're going to explain that away. Um, they're taking him on a tour, telling him exactly, oh, we have full surveillance and all these fail safes. So if a dinosaur does escape from its pen, then everything shuts down right away. We have, you know, a safe room. We have all this stuff. And it's top of the line. So there's nothing to worry about. But the animals they don't escape anyway. They had like a handful of dinosaurs behind just like these glass like walls or whatever, just very standard uh, um, cages and just aquarium-y type things. And just like, all right, fine, I'm fine with this. Um, as the movie's playing, I'm checking their IMDb to see how many porn movies each of these actors has been in. It's just like, oh no, they're all just real actors, I guess. And I believe it was an Asylum movie, and they're just the people that make those knockoff versions of like, we got a title that's similar to a big blockbuster movie, and why not give it a try? And the reason is because it is so poorly written. And it's just like, you could have easily still made this an interesting movie, but nothing makes sense. Like, anything that they say that makes, like, yep, that's fine. Minimal staff because we for the rich guy. And then it's just like, but why though? You just proved that you don't need to do that. So then why are these idiot scientists still here? What are they even doing? What is anybody doing? Hey, what's the point of this? Oh, well, we brought back these dinosaurs from a million years ago so that we can figure out, like, you know, they have great systems in their body, and we'll use their internal medicine, whatever, to help humans, and that seems to be the whole goal of everybody. And then when they're going on the tour, and the rich guy is just like, yeah, this is great. Let's do that. Like let's do that as soon as possible. Like get whatever's in them out of them and start injecting it into people and start curing diseases. And then this head scientist lady is like, whoa, 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 no! How dare you? Like, these are living things. Like, that's not why, they're here to, like, that's the only reason. And the building is called, like, Triassic. That's why it's called Jurassic Park. It is not a park by any means. But she's just like, like, these are my friends. These are good animals. Like, we can't just, like, go dissecting them. Like, that's the only reason you've made them. You yourself just said that 4 scenes ago. And now you're flipping out in a very poorly acted way. And then whatever. While they're going through this, and no alarms are going off, no anything. The other guy's like, a few floors down, chasing down / being chased by a dinosaur. At a certain point, he like, kind of squares off with it, and he's like, hey, like, you stop that dinosaur, get out of here. And the dinosaur's like, and walks away. It's just like, are they friendly? Like, so they're kind of borderline, like gorillas in the misting, where it's just like, they, in a few shots, the dinosaurs are just okay with people telling them what to do, as if they are a trained dog that's also like, I'm sick of this. I'm going to eat some heads. So, you see a scientist guy, he goes running into an elevator. It's not a giant freight elevator. It's like an in-between decent size elevator, like a hospital size elevator, because I'm pretty sure they filmed this in an old hospital. And he runs in to the elevator to the point where he like disappears, behind the corner, which it's just barely big enough that, okay, that human can go behind this wall and we can't see him. It's small enough, though, that I think we should still maybe see part of him. But no, that's fine if you want to do that. But then the dinosaur, that is still, it's still about the size of a velociraptor, or a little bit bigger than like a Jurassic Park velociraptor. It charges in. And the whole all of it, not even the tail is still whipping out. The entire thing goes into the elevator, like to the point where you can't see it, and then like, somebody throws a bucket of blood against the wall. What's the name of the thing I'm listening to about intermittent psoriasis? Oh, it's like, what's intermittent? Oh, my intermittent psoriasis. Hey, karate boss, what are you doing today? We're just making up songs and drawing Mr. Cartoons in the Mr. Cartoons way. Anyway, so the dinosaur fully goes in, and you can't see it. It chops off some heads, and then finally the rich guy, his assistant, and the scientist who's like, hey, you can't be telling me to do the science on the dinosaurs that have been bred for doing science on. Elevator opens up. That guy kind of escapes, and it's like, oh my god. They're like, what's happening? Like, the dinosaur. The dinosaur grabs the rich guy by the shoulder, like, oh my god, I'm hurt. They like get it back into the elevator somehow, and then it's still roaming around. And then at some point, they get it like Star Trek style, like sealed off in a hallway. There's definitely no way for it to get through, but later on, it like clawed its way through like 2 inches of concrete. Like, of course it did. Of course it did. Then I believe it helped some other dinosaurs escape. And how you know it's a great where are my buttons? How you know it's a great movie is the dinosaurs. You know how in zombie movies and shows they refuse to call them zombies, and it is like, oh, the walkers and the whatever. In this, although they were just like, they were trying to be like, there's just scientists. They're not like weird, just dirty teens that are just like, what is that monster? Like, I don't know. They were calling them Gojirasaurs, I believe. And just like, I'm pretty sure that's not a dinosaur. pretty sure that's just a Godzilla-osaurus, so that you can A, get away with your weird made-up dinosaur that's still kind of raptor-y, kind of T-Rexy, and you're just gonna call it a Gojirasaur, and nobody here is gonna go, hey, really, 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 Gojirasaur. Good job. Good job. So anyway, to do. Well, we just have to get to that safe room that I said, because we have a fully safe room. They go to that safe room, and I'm just like, I don't see the safe door. I believe this is just some sort of regular staff room, and that's just where you're filming. The safe room is. They never show them sealing doors off or anything, because it is like, like going into those bathrooms where you're like, why is there no door here? And you just kind of go around a corner and you're like, I guess I'm in the bathroom now, and no one's going to burst in here and see me peeing or murder me, because you guys are just in a staff room. That guy's just laying on a bench. And she's like, oh, we have everything we need in here to survive, like the medical stuff or whatever. Oh, somebody attend to this guy and his wounds. This is just a staff room. I feel like if you open up one of these cupboards, there's going to be a stack of granola bars and crackers and cheese that whoever actually works in this building left there while you guys film on a Saturday. So at this point, then they're just kind of arguing, like, oh, what do we do? I don't know. Well, we got to go out there and get it. Like, okay, so then the guys whose job it is to wrangle the dinosaurs, they go out again. But the scientist lady goes too, who's like, oh no, I don't want you to kill this thing. It was like, oh, it was on its way to be destroyed anyway. Like, nobody told me about that. Like, there's only 7 of you in this building right now. How do you not know? Like, there's only a handful of scientists, so if you didn't make that call, why does nobody know what's going on? Why is everybody contradicting the last thing that they say? So then they go out, they lose another guy, they come back in again, and then the rich guy's like, I'm going crazy for no reason. They're like, oh, it must be the enzymes from that dinosaur making him go crazy. Let's get into this room. They're like, well, now what do we do? Like, we gotta go. Oh, and also, like, there's no guns? What do you mean there's no guns? Like, there's just tranquilizers. This is unbelievable. Like, again, how is it nobody knows this? Nobody knows this? The guy who's been running around with the tranquilizer gun, or like whatever, one of those dog catching ropes on a stick. Then they're all out there. We got to get this thing. The dinosaur, once again, he like tears another shoulder or a head off a person. Then there's like the other guy, like, whoa, what are we gonna do? And the scientist lady was like, I don't want to kill them. I still think they're gonna be my friend. She's got the gun trained on it, and it's just like, why aren't you shooting it? The other guy's there, like, it's just a tranquilizer anyway. Like, shoot it. Why is nobody? And it's for the longest time, for the like, even by accident, somebody should have shot this dinosaur by now. Like, just by how stupid these people seem, one of you would have accidentally shoot each other. I don't care. Why aren't one of these tranquilizer guns going off? And then she's like, hey, let's call the dinosaur Sheila. Hey, Sheila, like, don't, you get out of here. And then the dinosaur's like, okay, like, and away it goes. Like, what just happened? And I think, yeah, around then is when I was started flipping through, and I'm just like, this makes no sense. There's just so much time going by where they're just sitting around arguing about things. Like, what are you even arguing about? These arguments make no sense whatsoever. This is bananas. And then I skip ahead further towards the end, and then the everyone's dead except that main scientist lady who wanted to save them, and like a couple of dinosaurs are very slowly coming towards her because they're all free now for no reason. And then she's just like, oh my god, like she pulls a lever and some like crazy gas mist is coming down. She's like struggling to get the gas mask on, which is just like this is a real easy gas mask to get on. The fact that the mist has gotten to you within this time, because it's definitely coming from way over there. The dinosaurs get completely clouded in the mist. And by completely clouded, I mean the mist covers the screen. I can still clearly see the hallway through the mist, but they just deleted the dinosaur geometry from the scene. Or slash, a lot of times when I'm trying to animate things and I put a bunch of effects on the scene, stuff behind those effects will just be like, I can't render all of this. Some of it's got to disappear and get pixelated. So it was like, maybe it was that. Maybe you just tried to layer too many effects and the dinosaurs didn't come through, but just like, should still be able to see them, or at least white out the background too. You're terrible at this movie making thing, guys. And then, of course, out of the mist, one of the dinosaurs lurches out, and I'm just like, it's clearly going to just do the old, like, flop down at her feet, and it does, and she's like, oh, I made it. And earlier on, the police came, they're like, hey, like, something bad's going on here, like, we have dinosaurs and they're free, so get all the police and get some paramedics, because when we get out of here, we're gonna need help. So she goes to the front door, which is clearly just a regular sliding thin door that any person could just push through slash break with their feet, let alone if these dinosaurs have been roaming around, they definitely could have gotten through this. You should have put some CG on the door, or I don't know, not shown the door. She's like, gets the door open and she like collapses, and the policeman take her away, and she's like, oh, I guess there was dinosaurs. Credits. That was the worst thing in the world. Why? Why do I keep thinking it's stupid for me to make a movie? Those guys spent, I'm sure, hundreds of thousands of dollars on this. I'm gonna make a movie spending no money, just with the gear that I already have now. Why not do that? Just because the script isn't finished? Just because, seems stupid? But I mean, I don't know. I still gotta figure out what the movie's about in order to finish writing that script. But the movie's about trying to make a movie. And how I'm like, no, the movie's about me. And the things I want to happen in the movie. So you don't actually have to write the script of what the movie's about. No, but that's the thing. Like, it's about, I'm trying to make a thing. And then you're just like, no, make this thing. Yeah, no, but like, you're you for real life right now. And then in the movie, you're playing the character of you. You do not have to do the homework for a character that doesn't exist. Just because he wants there to be a script for that thing, you don't need it, because I will not allow your script to happen. All right? We got some weird monster we have to deal with. We got a major penguin that we got to murder. We got meteors. We got symbiotes. That's not at all the thing. What are you talking about? Anyway, lots of crazy stuff is going to happen, and it's all going to be about me, and why it should be about me, and then flashbacks and flash forwards. Real meta stuff. It's real good. But yeah, the thing that you think the character is trying to make, you don't actually have to make that thing. That's not going to happen. It's just, hey, I actually just thought of it right now. It's just you're making the movie, and I'm like, hey, what is this, some dumb vlog? And then you're like, no, it's like a movie about a thing. And I'll be like, no, it seems like a stupid vlog. Why don't you just do a live stream? And then done. Then you're done. We don't have to write that part at all. I think, so, let's just start filming. That script is done then, basically. Is that what you're saying? Yeah, it's been done forever. I mean, I'm sure you got to go back. There's some details and stuff that need to be fixed up, but for the most part, it's all wrapped up. It's a nice little bow on top of a whole bunch of paradoxes that are adorable and hilarious. All thanks to me and my hilarious cleverness. Makes sense. Yeah, I guess after I finish Moxie Fox's movie, maybe I'll make that movie. Have to hire somebody to animate it, because I'm not gonna feel like or have the time to animate it. But so then, after I got through that movie, I think I finally fell asleep, and then woke back up like, oh, I still feel like garbage. How do I make myself feel better? Then don't use my voice. Stop using my voice to be your weak, thickly voice. That's not what that's for. Sorry. How do I live without something good? I need to feel better than things, but there's another dinosaur movie over on this other channel. Maybe this one will be fun. It looks like it could be fun. I think this one might be fun. I think I might watch this one all the way through. Bad CG or not, I think this might be. I think this might be the jam. And this one was called Jurassic Games. The Jurassic Games. It looked like they were definitely setting themselves up for a sequel that would have been awful. But again, if I had a friend or even an acquaintance in that movie, I definitely would have watched it from beginning to end, and I would have loved it. I think, but it was better than Triassic Park, but it was not good. It was not good. So it's basically Running Man with dinosaurs, but it's more Running Man than dinosaurs. So that part was a big disappointment. So basically starts out a lot of like weird fakey news coverage. A lot of the effects were just really good. A lot of it was really good, like well put together, decent sets. They definitely didn't have a lot to work with, but they had more than enough to work with. Like they had some good locations. But again, story wise, it was just like, oh, so you ran out of time for this section. Next story beat. Yeah, that's how I make things too. That's all my little shorts or any little project that I do. It is just like, all right, I'm kind of done now, or that's as much as I can afford time or energy wise. Um, or like this, like I'm doing right now. How do I copy and paste my way to the end of this? So the story of that one was basically like, hey, it's the future now, and we've got all these inmates. They're already on death row. Their lives are already ours. Oh, it starts with a George Carlin quote that says, "In the future, um, I can't remember the exact quote, but in the future, we're probably going to start playing death games with people on death row to watch on reality TV shows." So they were doing that, and they were just explain first, like a news thing would explain, like this is what they do. But I thought it was like, oh well, they've made dinosaurs. They have a little island of dinosaurs, I'm sure, and monsters, and they put them in there, then survive. And the only one can survive, and the one person that survives is they get their sentence thrown away, regardless of what they've done. So like one dude's a cannibal, another couple of guys are just straight up murderers, um, mostly crazy murderers of varying degrees. Um, I mean like super villainly degrees. Except one guy who clearly didn't kill his wife and was set up for whatever reason, and he's definitely the hero. And he looks like he should be played by a Gerard Butler or I can't think of any of those other guys, but whoever played Leonidas, that wasn't Gerard Butler, was it? But anyway, this guy was definitely like a $4 Gerard Butler, and clearly like you're going to be the hero, but your acting isn't great, and I don't enjoy you. They're trying to make you likable, and there's nothing to not like about you other than you're a fake Gerard Butler. So they put them all in VR helmets that are connected to their death IV drip, and host puts on a weird VR helmet thing. they all get ported in to this virtual world, and he explains like, all right, here's the deal. There's like 3 or 4 levels. The first level is you get from here to the safe zone, and assistant Gerard Butler. And if you survive, then you go to the second level, and he's explaining. So the first level is just there's dinosaurs between you and the safe zone. You've got collars on that will explode your head if you've seen Suicide Squad. We're doing that. It's a very recent movie. It's like 2019, if not 2020 release. So again, even though they're just in a virtual world and they don't need to have collars on, they can just be like, if you stray or you do something we don't like, then we will just kill you off. Because that's what's really happening, is they're just getting a lethal injection in the outside world, and then they just kind of like slump over, and they're all just standing in a row with VR helmets on, and they're unconscious or whatever. So minute 1, before they even explain anything, they just like put them in there before the TV show starts and shows everybody watching it all around the world. Very Running Man. And right away, some old man gets grabbed and eaten by a Tyrannosaur that actor clearly wasn't told, or was told like it's going to be around here somewhere. Just act like it's around here somewhere. And he tried his best to look at where he thought the CG dinosaur was going to be, and somebody tried real hard to put that CG dinosaur in his eye line, and it was real awkward. But still not the worst. Not Jurassic Park, but not Triassic Park either. It was trying harder than Triassic Park. Um, so they kill off a guy right away. They go back to the guy hosting. He's like, all right, we lost one already before the thing even started. So anyway, on your collars, if you're in the safe zone, it'll glow red. If you're almost in the safe zone, it'll glow orange. And if we're gonna blow your head up, it'll be red. So they scatter right away. Some big guy, uh, cannibal guy jumps on some lady and tries to eat her. And then the hero guy like saves her, and she's like, "Hey, like I don't even care about that. I'm a crazy murderer." She tries to kill him. Some other guy saves him. They're like, "We're gonna kind of be a kind of teamwork it up here, and we're gonna make our way through." So they're going, and kind of no dinosaurs for a while, and then finally like, oh, here's some velociraptors, and they're like, it's too soon, kill the velociraptors. So the velociraptors just phase through the guys, and they're like, oh, we lucked out, like must have been a glitch. They see a giant spider, away they go. um hmm. And yeah, they're just like, it's too soon, like we want to pull the audience in more, we want to make it more dramatic. So we can't have these guys eaten by velociraptors right away. So a lot of it is mostly just like them fighting amongst themselves. Because again, whoever survives gets their sentence lifted, even though they tell them like, if you want to kill each other, that's fine. It's not about survival. You can just murder each other, and we're fully okay with that. So they're just all in different places, all just wandering, and then suddenly it's like, you've reached the safe zone. You've reached the safe zone. You've reached the safe zone. And then, like, just a big, uh, um, free floating digital door, like number 2 pops up. And it's just like, whoop, I'll just walk through that. And then they end up in this, like, metal room. That's the beginning of the maze. Level 2 is the maze. So then they're like, all right, here's the deal. They're each chained to a screen, and you have to go through the maze with your finger. And when you go through the maze with your finger, your chain disconnects, and then you can go into the real maze and survive. First one, I believe, to get out of the maze can grab the gun. Here's a laser gun that we're going to give you that will help you get through the maze. You can either use it to kill each other or use it to fight off the raptors, because there's raptors in the maze, and the maze is just hallways, just maybe 3 hallways that they've built, and then they just keep reusing them. So they're all doing the thing. One of the bad guys gets the gun first. Everybody kind of starts wrestling for the gun. The good guy ends up with the gun. He's like, all right, I'm going to save everybody with this gun. And his friend who helped him, his screen got shot, so he couldn't finish his maze and unlock himself out. So then, with the laser gun, he shoots off his chain, which he will, of course, use as a weapon later on. So they start running through the maze. They're shooting velociraptors in the face. Maybe one person gets eaten. I don't even think anything really happens. But a guy with the chain still stuck to his arm, he ends up back in the main maze room, like, oh no! And then he gets surrounded by 2, if not 3 velociraptors. And he starts doing those, like, kung fu rope tricks that, if you're a good distance away from your attacker, not that bad. Yep, that'll frighten him. That'll keep them on their toes, make them wonder, like, this guy's got some skills to pay some bills. We better keep our distance. But it's velociraptors. It's 3 velociraptors. They have no reason not to just jump this guy, and it's such close quarters that it's just like, even once they do get hit by this rope chain thing, this cable, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. So he starts flipping around. He hits one, and it goes down like there's no way. There's no way in the world you could have knocked that velociraptor away with that piece of cable. It's just, keep whipping it around and then make your way with the door. Maybe. But he's still, once he even starts getting, he's still in the room, and he's just, for the longest time, like, yep, you trained or you already knew how to do these rope tricks. You're a stunt guy or something, and you're just going to keep doing these, like, little rope flippies. Start whipping them in the face or start running. Oh my god. So, anyway, after all of that, he definitely just gets eaten. Pretty sure he just gets eaten. So then, hero guy with the laser gun, he ends up kind of like helping everybody. They're like, where do we go? I don't know. They find a grate. He shoots open the grate. They all climb through, and he's climbing through backwards, shooting at the velociraptors. And then once they get out of the grate, it's just like, hey, now it's level 3. The landmines. Like, okay, now you have to get from here to over there, which is literally like 15, 20 feet. Makes no sense. And, or was that first? I think that's what was first. No. First it was go from point A to where the landmines are, which was, you know, I don't know, 100 yards or something like that. Like, it wasn't that far away, but they were like, all right, like, here's more ammo for your laser gun that's empty, and here's a map. So they fight for that. So one guy ends up with the ammo, but he doesn't quite have the gun yet. And some lady ends up with the map. They beat everybody up. So the bad guys end up with the map, you know, device that shows like a hologram. And then they all just follow him anyway, and they walk for like 5 minutes. They don't really see anything. Nothing really happens except they fight a bit, I think. And then they get to like, oh, now you're at the next section, the landmines. There's 15, maybe 20 landmines over here. Try not to step on any. You know, that device can show you where they are, but you don't have to share it. And right away, some guy gets picked up by a pterodactyl and dropped, and he lands right on a mine and explodes. If I could travel to Mars, I definitely wouldn't travel to Mars. But if I could, the snacks just for the you know for the novelty of it, I'm definitely going to take Mars bars, and then beyond that, all the chips. But it just wouldn't matter because I'm like I can't get more snacks once I'm up on Mars. So I'm not going. I'm staying here where the snacks are. That's just crazy talk. Um, so that's at the point when I'm like, I don't care anymore. I'm gonna start skipping ahead to see once again. I know who's gonna win, and I don't care. Skip ahead a little bit. Somebody is just like, oh, there's a saber-toothed tiger, and there's just this big, crazy tiger that, for the most part, almost looks okay. And then it starts to fall down, and it's just like, oh, you did not do any research on how a cat moves. You you totally could have just watched videos on YouTube of a mountain lion or anything climbing on a thing, and this just looks like what I would have done when I was doing CG in school before I knew what CG was. Back when it was really hard to do because it was just invented. Um, that is true. Ooh, that's also true. Mars bars is racist on Mars, and all bars on Mars are Mars bars. So I would also take some Mr. Big bars. Are they still a thing? I haven't had one of those in 10 years. And Big Turk bars. And yes, I know that makes me an old lady, but I'm an old lady. Love a Big Turk bar. Yeah, the saber-toothed tiger thing happens. I forget what else, but mostly it's just kind of like uh, some fist fighting, some laser gun fighting, some adjacent dinosaurs, but it doesn't really matter. Oh, there was a Triceratops for a second. Who cares? And then in the end, it's clearly also gearing up to be um, the Running Man story, which is, hey, like we're gonna put a stop to these Running Man games. Like these are unacceptable because there's protesters that are called cavemen. Protesting is like this isn't right. You shouldn't be doing this. And some people on the inside who are like, oh, we are going to stop this. They're doing computery things. So you know, some way, somehow, the people running it are still going to end up being eaten by a dinosaur somehow, even though they would have to be put into VR and also hooked up to the lethal injection system. Because other than that, you know, it's just you're just oculusing. You can't die from oculusing. Uh, So, however it happens, I don't know. I don't care. But they take over. It ends up being like the bad guys get their comeuppance in some way, and then it like flashes ahead to like, hey, that was crazy last year. Now we have a new host. Now it's a new system, but we're still gonna do the all new Jurassic games. And he's like, but we're gonna amp it up a bit. And the way they amp it up is they show there's like a big metal wall right before you like the credits roll, and Tyrannosaur like bursts through that wall or through this door. I think there might have been, yeah, I think there was a Velociraptor or two and a Tyrannosaur, and they've got just really bad, like just armaments on them. Like they've just got huge missiles and lasers and armor that's just kind of slung on them like a Masters of the Universe figure. Like not better than Dino Riders. Again, speaking of watching 80s nostalgia things, I believe it was Dino Riders. I know there's a few other shows like that that had, dinosaurs with big metal helmets on them, and then just missiles left over from Mask toys. Mask the cars that turned into cars with their doors open with rockets on them that turned them into planes. And then lasers and rockets, not Mask the Rocky Dennis or the Jim Carrey or Jamie Kennedy, son of masking. And yeah, so it ends with a very bad CG missile. Like these dinosaurs look worse somehow, like just worsely lit than any of the dinosaurs in the rest of the movie. And yeah, it shoots a missile at the screen, and then it's just like, oh, like tune in for Jurassic Games again too. No, no, I won't. And you're definitely not spending more money on making a Jurassic Games 2. The Laser Ceratops. Knife. And yeah, that was the bad movies of laying around wishing my sinuses would opened up. 2021. Oh yeah, this was a thing I copy and pasted. Um, it's been so long now I can't quite remember, but I just have this bit of the article, so I'm just gonna straight up read it. But yeah, I don't remember the rest of it. So what it says is all I know. But this is all we need, I think. Plant-human communication is finally here. Not on the way, not in the works. It's here. And it's wonderfully weird. And then there's an emoticon of like a piece of lettuce. Spinach has been engineered to send emails, and when it finds specific compounds, this tech could be used to detect landmines, pollution, and even upcoming droughts. Yeah. You've been talking to plants. I've been talking to plants. I've talked to cats. I should have set up some sort of not cat, some sort of plant to talk about if I had remembered that was in my notes. it would have just made so much sense in the world to talk to a plant, but I didn't.
I'm kind of like a plant. Oh, I can send emails still. No one's stopping me from sending emails.
Legs. I'm totally replacing you with a vegetable. You're done. You're done. You're done. Nobody wants you anymore. Nobody cares about you. You're just evil and you're garbage.
But evil garbage is still alive. Send emails and all of my. I have things to say about turtles.
Yeah, apparently spinach can send emails. Yeah, they can send emails, but their email etiquette, their netiquette, if you will, from 1994 is atrocious. I got an email from some spinach, and it said that Trump guy should go to jail because he's full of crimes. He's a video of fail. Okay. Oh, classic. Uh, classic dad joke, but call it a classic mom jeans joke. Spinach won't go to jail because it's turned over a leaf, and that leaf is quite new. Something you have to believe. Oh yeah, I saw a video of that. One of his buildings coming down. But either way, he'll be dead soon. The other thing, I keep forgetting to talk about this. I shouldn't. It's technically just mean. It's just me going, here's something I don't enjoy on the internet. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That's the only thing. That's what the internet's for. You know how many people are watching this just to how because they don't enjoy it? Hey, let's watch this guy and make fun of how he's just going to talk about having a cold again. That is a fact. Didn't fix the back of my hair. Sat on the couch and forgot. uh, but yeah, so there's only a handful of people watching the stream live. I went and yeah, the last few or on our last couple of streams, there's like 300 people that watch it, 300 views, and I have a bunch of followers. That I keep forgetting. It's just like, oh, are you guys really following this? Because somebody's really watching it. So if they are watching this after the fact, after the liveness, I got some names over here. What are those names? We got scrolling. Curtis Zanico. Curtez Zanico. Curtis Zanico. Hi! If you're watching, how's it going? Thanks for following. Scrolling. Gypsy Wind. Meow, 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 meow. Should have organized these. Senbeto? Hmm? How you doing? And rolling. Mr. Bear Casanova. That's a fun name. Mr. Bear Casanova. What do you know today? Mr. Bear Casanova. With your bear hugs and play. That was dumb. That was a dumb song. Out of line. That's a good name too. Out of line, stay in line. Get out of line and jam. Pull out your guitar and watch Jim and Pam on The Office. I don't know. Blue Eyes 87. I think I might have said that one last week. And oh, Heinrich 109993. Are you a real person? Probably a robot. Are you a robot? Heinrich 10993. Do you compute what I'm saying? Or are you I don't know, a Matrix Part 3? Anyway, enough of that. Enough of that. Back to being angry about stuff. I don't follow hashtags, but one day I was like, I'm gonna follow a hashtag for once. I'll be one of those guys. And I followed hashtag stop motion. And figured this is gonna show me a bunch of crazy stop motion stuff. And it occasionally shows me some awesome stop motion stuff. I want to give him a round head. I want to give him a Milo square head. Yeah, that's the stuff. But I won't unfollow it because, yeah, I still see a bunch of cool stop motion-y things. There's like animation kits that pop up from like the Aardman guys, and I'm like, ooh, I want to order some of these parts someday. And just them showing how they move their maquettes, and just random people that are just like building things. This one person's making this gizmo figure stop motion doll puppet that is just beyond, like they're just felting away the fur and making little hands and painting the little nails to make them look like the thing, and I'm just like, this is insane. Oh my god, this is insane. Why am I so bad at felting things? This is amazing. It looks like you're just poking it. It looks great. And and that's great. It's inspiring. It makes me want to do more little stop motion-y things. Oh, I did do something when I was like, I don't feel like doing anything, but I had a little bit of energy. One of those days when I guess I just didn't feel like making juice, and I could breathe. And I was like, oh, I just want to. I set up. I got two little shelves, like those like cube shelves, and two of the cubes have like just all my good toys on it. So one cube is like all of the NECA movie turtles. I got them all now. Every time I go to the video game store, I'm like, how is it every time I'm here you have another one of the turtles I don't have? So now I've got all four turtles. They're in there, and the old blue couch that was in here, I've got Shredder from the movie. I've got that foot soldier from the movie on the couch, and then behind them, I've got the NECA four turtles that the bootleg ones that I got from eBay. That are the ones from the comic that are superposable, but they're bootleg, so I can't really animate with them because they will fall apart. I've already had to glue some stuff back together. and then some little Raphael Legos and random little Raphael. I don't even know what it is, but it's just these weird little guy, posable. There's a stop motion of him on my Instagram somewhere from when I was doing a stream. It's like stream starting, and it's just Raphael doing this. 'Cause sometimes I'll just do a handful of frames, and it's just fun. So they're just sitting there, and in the other cube is Jason Voorhees, a Sigourney Weaver alien, Batman, The Crow, RoboCop, Rick, I want to say Condor Man, an assortment of movie-ish characters. So it's like it's fun. Also, that other couch that I made is in the other cube, so they're sitting around the couch. Good stuff. So I'm just laying there looking at that from across the room. Like, how easy would it be to just very quickly clamp the camera onto that shelf and just take Shredder's head and just have it bob, and then I can go to the Instagram music thing that everybody does and have Shredder lip sync to anything because you can't see his mouth. Then I realized, oh yeah, I can move his little mouth part thing, the little mouth covering, and that was cool too. So what I was going to do was just play the song part from Baby's Got Back, and he's just going to be bobbing his head, completely forgetting that it starts with, "Oh my God, Becky, look at her butt. It's like so big." It's like one of those rap guys. Excuse me, once again, if you're gonna do my voice, could you make it come out of my mouth face over here and not steal it? That's my thunder, and you know, I'm the one who makes that thunder. Clap, clap, as they say. Sorry, super sorry. So yeah, I was just like, oh, maybe this will still work, and so I just slid it over to that part of the audio. I didn't lip sync anything at all. I just randomly had him bob his head, grabbed all those frames, repeated them like 3 times, had the foot soldier kind of react slightly, and then I'm just like, that's it. Like, this is gonna take me 9 minutes. I did. I don't know. Maybe it was 40 frames. I really can't remember, but it was just moving it up and down. I was in no shape to be doing real animation, but I'm like, this is no big deal. And then yeah, threw that in there. So that's on the reels in the at Mr. Cartoons Instagram. And it's great. Once again, if you're not following the Mr. Cartoons Instagram, I don't know. It's just as much fun as the stream. And if you're one of the 300, all right, speaking of Leonidas that I mentioned about an hour ago, if you're one of my 300 from Twitch, I just need like 55 of you. I forget how many subscribers I have on YouTube, but if you go to, there's a link once again down below in the Twitch, and just for free subscribe to my YouTube. I just need like 50 some more, maybe 60 of you to subscribe so that I can name it properly and it's not just a weird link. And then I can say, hey, also check out the videos on youtube.com/Mr. Cartoons instead of a big string of text and letters. And then I'll feel more encouraged to make some more weird little short. I've had a bunch of ideas. I've got one half put together in the computer right now that I'm just like, I want to finish. I want to finish so many things. But if my YouTube had the proper name, then I would probably fill it up more. But yeah, all the streams are still available there. If you are into watching the ones that have already happened, they're all there. They're all there from like a year's worth, I'm sure, at this point, if not 2 years worth. I have no idea how long I've been doing this to the multiple channels. But yeah, while you go to check those out, subscribe so I can name my channel. There is, I'm pretty sure I put it up there. There is a video of Milo getting ready for the new version when I did rename this, when I made this into Mr. Cartoons, when Milo was like in the Joker seat taking off the bandages and show me the mirror and whatnot, and I just went in and animated very quickly and poorly, but fun. Milo over the Joker. The proportions are all wrong, and we don't care. We don't care. It's just a good time. Just for funsies. But that's it. That's all I'm asking of the 300. There's a store where you can get books, all at mrcartoons.com. You can get shirts and merch. I updated and added stuff to the store there. I'll add more stuff always. But really, don't even care. Don't even care. You know, I have a job. I have technically 2 jobs right now. It's really more about having a good title on my YouTube. I think you followed with something, but perhaps not. But yeah, I think that if you didn't, Levi, Captain Pants might have already followed back the Mr. Cartoons or subscribed back on YouTube's, but I'm not sure. If I think of it, I'll try to think to remind. And as well, karate lessons, if you are new, isn't just somebody that watches this stream. Saturday morning, who's gonna play with me? Saturday morning, I can't remember the rest of the words of that song. Got a long day ahead of me, but 11 o'clock in the morning, my time. Karate Lessons is a podcast on Twitch. It's karate lessons, and Levi, Mel and Levi, doing some improv, having some fun, and usually they try to have some guests now. And I try my best. Last 2 weeks, I missed the first half 2 weeks ago. This week, I managed to make it there on time. I try to hang out there and cause trouble. Pat Prue is usually there causing trouble, and yeah, last week they played Monopoly, like real board game Monopoly, by the real rules, which is just blew my mind. I'm like, I have never in my life played Monopoly by the rules. It's always you land on free parking, you get the money in the middle. The money in the middle comes from if you land on the tax thing or whatever, or the electric bill and the taxes. That money goes into there, and then free parking pays out to that. Never done mortgages. Maybe did some trades. But yeah, the mortgaging and the whatever. I don't know. I thought it was fascinating and fun. While I was watching, I believe I was finishing. No, I was working on Moxie Fox's movie slash playing Mario Maker. I was like, oh, if they're playing games, I'm gonna play some games too. So I was like listening, and I've got my 2 monitors beside each other, the one that plays Nintendo's, and then my computer to the other side, so that I can stream playing video games, which I never do, but I really want to. I don't know why I don't. I know why, because I feel like I should be working on other people's projects. But someday, if the 300 turns into the 3,000 or the 30,000, then I'll be like, hey, other projects, wish I could help you out, but I've got to make projects and play video games for my 300 tiers over here. That's the real goal. Real goal is to beholden, try to make myself beholden to a bunch of random people who want to see more out in the internet. People out in the world that are like, no, just more, please, sir. I would love to have some more. Oh, you're welcome, everyone. I would love to give you some more.
Hey, I'm still live on location at this dance club once again. And I can count upwards of 300 people in here. They're wondering why I'm standing in front of this person dancing. And I'm not dancing, even though the Batusi was invented by me and it's a very popular dance. But I'm just still here having a good time. Reporting live.
You're not reporting anything. You're almost as bad as Krang. I'll never replace you, but seriously, come up with anything to report on. lots of stuff has been happening in the news, and also I totally sidetracked myself once again. No, wrong button.
That's just it. A lot of the stuff on hashtag stop motion is always just people taking pictures of things, and it's not cool. That's your whole story.
That's true. That is the whole story. Is so often I'm just frustrated that I'm just like, it's still, I guess, technically stop motion, but it's like picture, 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 picture. Like, that's not stop motion. That's just time lapse of nothing. Or it'll be somebody just, yeah, like just time lapsing themselves, but again, like way too long between pictures. Or just some stuff that's like, this would still be fun if you played it at 24 frames a second instead of 4 frames a second. That's true. That's true. And he is technically in a non-socially distanced area over there. But I don't know. Batman?
As a super rich guy. Not that I'm a super rich guy. I'm a bad person. And in my alter ego, there's no alter ego, it's only Batman. And everything's cool. But if I was another person, I could easily afford to make my own antidote to anything that could happen. So I have been inoculated, and anyone in my presence is hereby inoculated from anything.
All right, cool. That's Batman. He's not a rich girl. No. But no, his nose is not covered. It only comes down to here, and then his nose part is open, and then yeah, his mouth is in shadow, but the shadow knows where the COVID goes. Oops. Actually, is he still here? Hey, I'm still over here with my mask, fully social distance, nearly a meter away from my friend JV over here. And that guy also has a mask. It has holes in the nose and in the mouth area, but since I am covered up completely, everything is completely safe. And he's just looking around. Also, he's been dead for quite some time, since he was a small boy. And now he is immune to everything, except being chopped. No, even being chopped in half. He can come back to life, or he'll have his heart fed to some random guy who will become him. And that's all good for everybody. And that's, keep forgetting how to do that voice. It's been too long. It's been a while since I did the Bowie voice. Do some projects with that voice in this. Got one written on my board that I'll never do. What is it? How long have I been doing this for? Oh man. Almost 11 o'clock again. I mean, almost 10:30, but that's practically 11 o'clock. Some people have got to go to work in the morning. But, what else do we got over here? Button wise. Hey, remember that you were saying a thing about getting therapy? Yeah. Yeah, Ted. Yeah. Aside from the thing about avocado shakes hooking me up with the link to get on the list to have a family doctor, whilst being terrified in the world, there's always on a lot of podcasts ads for these like online therapy people groups that are just like, yeah, you sign up and then you can just text a real therapist and they'll write you back and or have like video or call sessions. I'm like, that sounds perfect because I've fully lost the ability to interact with people in the real world now. It's just not happening. It's just not happening. Even with masks on, it's still like, I'm gonna be in a place where people are. That's crazy town. And really, all I really need is to be like, hey, I'm scared of the things. Just would love a medical professional to tell me not to be scared of the things and then go do the things. Like, hey, can I just go make a dentist appointment without having to first get a COVID test and then be terrified? Like, yeah, no, you live in Nova Scotia where every day on when I watch YouTube or whatever, Amazon maybe, things that show some ads, it's always, hey, here's some Nova Scotia ads. You're living Nova Scotia? Why aren't you doing stuff? You're in Nova Scotia. The numbers are so low for the COVID thing. So here I am. I'm the Nova Scotia commercial lady that's in each of these commercials. I'm in a pool, in a hotel. I'm in a hotel pool. And I'm saying, well, you hear that? That's the sound of your children being quiet and having fun because they're enjoying a disgusting, even not in COVID times, a hotel pool. Every time I've ever gone on a hotel pool, I'm just like, I feel terrible about that. Why did I think that was a good idea? Like it was kind of fun, but it also just feels like the worst thing I've ever done in my life. Like definitely going to get a shower after that, and not the pool area shower if there is one, just like back in the hotel room. And even there, I'm like, I kind of can't wait to go home and get a real shower that hasn't been used by everybody in the world and lightly, gently sprayed off by people who are not getting paid enough to care about whether or not I'm obsessive and or compulsive and hypochondriac about the hotel facilities. So he keeps popping up like, hey, are you in the Maritimes? Are your borders open? And cross those borders. Come to Nova Scotia. Stay at a hotel. Do a thing. All you gotta do is wear a mask, but we're in the pool. We're not wearing masks. We're just gonna play some of the Marco Polo tag in the pool. Huh? Splash some of the water in your mouth. It's fine. So that alone is just like, all right, people are doing stuff. Lots of people are doing stuff. And I'm just like, I just can't anymore. Doing stuff is hard. Um, and there are people like karate lessons that are like, I know for a fact, like I have seen that where it's just like, ooh, I saw that person do some cleaning and they're in my section. So I'm like, I'm going to feel okay about this. Meanwhile, I've also been in the hospital while like my dad was in the hospital and people were like, did you see that? Unacceptable. And like my aunt's coming in and re-cleaning everything after the hospital. People were like, this is not cool. We're just gonna report everybody. So I'm just like, you never know what to believe in. Because even I'm obsessive compulsive over here, and still half the time I'm like, I still didn't clean enough. The germs from the other apartments, they're gonna climb in. They're gonna get in my ear holes. But because yeah, even that, I'm just like, I'm barely even afraid of COVID anymore. I mean, that's still 90, that's still 75% fear level. But for me, that's my bare minimum. So that's like, I'm practically not afraid of COVID anymore. I'm only 75% afraid of it. That's not 140%. So that's pretty good. But I've still got 80% on all the other things, and there's so many other things besides COVID's. Um, but yeah, just seeing that lady, and I'm just like, oh, lady, why isn't there a comment section on my TV so I can? And thankfully, I guess I'm watching. It always comes up on my TV. I don't get a lot of ads or any ads really when I watch YouTube on the computer. But when I watch it on the TV, it's just like, hey, did you open YouTube? Here's 17 ads. Like, oh, come on. And yeah, a lot of the times it's that lady trying to tell me that like one of the commercials is there's a couple sitting on their couch and they're still like they're social distance practically on their couch, and she just comes in and sits down with them like, hey, what are you guys doing? You're just staying at home? Why don't you go? Like, there's restaurants. Go sit at a restaurant, paw through the straws, and lick the salt shakers, and have some people come over and serve you food that are probably afraid of COVID, and you're ruining their day. But they still need you to come in, or else they don't get paid, and nothing makes any sense, and it's just a paradox. It's a paradox. But more and more vaccines are happening, and getting closer to eliminating that fear soon ish. September's not that far away. But yeah, that's most of my problems for the week. Things that I've enjoyed, in spite of them being terrible. Things that I've hated, in spite of them being good. I mentioned a good movie. I don't really complain about stuff. Oh yeah, segued away once again. The nonsense. But whilst being like, I'm just afraid of things, and I just need somebody to be like, it's cool. Either, yep, keep being afraid of that. That's a good thing to be afraid of, or you don't need to be afraid of that. So, Moxie Fox mentioned blah blah blah. I was like, oh, you actually use one of those things. Is it this? Is it that? Blah blah blah. And then she's like, no, like it's great because I don't really want to talk to people, and it's great to just be like, hey, here's, here are the things and/or people I have a problem with this week. Let me complain about them, and/or whatever. And then they just say, yep, good for you, and it just gives me somebody to complain to. And I'm just like, yeah, that's what I need. I don't want to inflict my friends with nonsense that, it'll just be like, ugh, I should pay somebody to listen to this nonsense. So I'm like, it is that one from the podcast ads? Yep. All right. So I Googled it. And I'm like, all right, I guess I'll go through this checklist soon. But one of my problems is basically like making appointments for things. As long as they're solely focused on me, I can't. It takes me for something that for the most part be like, all right, let me just do. Yep, I want to do this thing, or I want to order this pizza, or I want to sign up for a whatever, or sign up for a whatever, and it's just like, well, it's just me, so I guess I'll take weeks, if not months, to do this, days at best. And then I'm just like, so I went there. I was like, yeah, one of these days I'll come back and I'll do this. But that is my problem. Is but then I'll have to talk to somebody. Oh no! But that's what I want to do. Everything's a paradox. So because I looked it up, all of my ads on Facebook and Instagram changed to, hey. And yeah, and I still, unload stuff on you guys anyway, and that won't stop. If anything, then I'll be like, hey, here's what I told the therapist this week. Because God knows I've done that before. But yeah, so an ad, the very first ad that I saw, outside of hearing about it on podcast for betterhelp.com, I believe it is, it comes up and it's just like a video, and I'm just like, is this sexy therapy? Is therapy sexy? Therapy seems, what's going on here? And it's a person not a therapist, but somebody who uses it, who's just like, no, like I can fully advocate that, you know, this onlinehelp.com, it helped me, it helps lots of people, and I love it, and it's the best thing, and they're like this, they're like that. But it's this lady who looks awesome. And again, one of the problems with society that she probably was talking about was just like, hey, I'd love to dress the way I want to dress without feeling uh, the shame of society judging me for wanting to feel hot and sexy because I am. And she was wearing like some kind of like, jackety type thing, some sort of shirt that, is like this. And so that, it comes down to around here. And it just kind of was like, let me swing, like, and then, just a bra underneath that. Or I'm just like, I feel like I don't want to judge this person who's just like, I'm happy that you feel comfortable dressing like this. It seems like a weird venue in a therapy commercial, but at the same time, just like I'm sure what they're talking about is just like, hey, I want to be myself, and they helped me do that, and here you are being yourself on a commercial, no less. So therefore, it definitely works, but it's also very sexy. And so I immediately go to the comments to see. I'm like, what are the comments going to be? It's probably going to be a bunch of perverted stuff, right? Can't not check. Can't not check. And seemingly it was all positive. Still about how hot she was, but all positive. From just like the first guy, just like, yep, like sign me up for some of that. Like, she's beautiful. Like, it's like that. You didn't have to write that. She's not looking to hear that. Nobody at the therapy place needs to hear that, but that's what you chose to put. And then a bunch of other people are just like, hey, like, is she transgendered? I'm pretty sure she's transgender. Like, yep, she's transgendered and beautiful. Like, oh no, she is. Like, she's absolutely beautiful and wonderful, and I'm just happy for her. And a lot of things like, oh, like they specialize, or they have all the different specializations in, like, hey, if it is like LGBTQ and anxiety and family issues, couple stuff, like, just there's everything, and there's somebody for everything. They have so many therapists, so the things go down. And like the closest to a negative thing was like somebody saying like, hey, like I bet like Bill at the top there, who's just like, she's a hot lady, he doesn't realize she's transgendered. So like, I'm just like, so like, I want to join therapy, and I also do want her number. Like, sold. But at the same time, just like, is this sexy therapy? Because I mean, not the therapist, but I can see your underwear. I can see London and France and your upper underpants over here. But within those moments of looking and reading, it is like, once again, one of the problems with society is, there's a whole section of society that's like, hey, it's summertime, I'm just going to take my shirt off and walk down the street, and no one's going to say anything other than, you're disgusting, dude, or, yep, there's a dude with his shirt off. Or that one time at the bus stop when a guy was like, I'm going to wear my thick, heavy, hot leather jacket and no shirt on underneath that. And it's just like, your priorities are in the wrong direction, dude. If the issue here is it's summertime and it's hot, you keep the t-shirt on and you leave the leather jacket at home. That thing, I'm getting warm from, being 50 feet away from that leather jacket. It's like, that's crazy talk. That's crazy talk. Also, that's fully a dead animal. It's not. It's too hot. It's too hot to wear another skin of life over you. Like, that's designed to keep a whole other animal inside. Like, let me just climb in this hot tauntaun. It's a hot summer day. Just gonna roll into this tauntaun and just chill for a bit, cause nothing like some hot organs to warm you up on on a hot day. But again, you know, Tim Hortons is the most popular place in the world, and Starbucks, because, yep, it's summertime, going to get 6 hot coffees. I don't drink coffee, so I don't know. I barely like soup. Talk too much, and I get thirsty. But then I don't drink. Whoa. Cool people ale. Cool people ale. Drink it on up. Cool people ale. Everyone. Sup. On some cool people ale and some grass-fed beef. Plant-based pepperoni. And cool people ale by the teeth. That doesn't make any sense. I got no good rhymes today. Got no good rhymes. I'm just also still like on this weird precipice where I'm like, if I breathe through my mouth too much, it's going to cause that backdraft of pressure, and I'm not going to be able to breathe through my nose. So every time I stop, and I'm like, oh, I can still breathe through my nose. Wow. Gotta be careful. Don't wanna fall back into the being all stuffed up. Like, hopefully tomorrow I'll wake up and not have to take a bunch of reactin or a reactin to still breathe. So yeah, it's just not cool that there's a bunch of people that are just like, I can just basically walk around with almost nothing on and nobody says anything because, you know, dudes are mildly universally seen as gross. Mostly the people who are like, hey, I'm just gonna wear my cutoff jean shorts and walk around downtown. Like, only mostly gross people do that. And all the hot guys are like, I'm gonna wear some cool clothes and look cool, and you gotta earn your way to see what's under here because it's so awesome. All the DJs will say, damn, and if I was a cake of beef, I'd be selling me by the gram. But yeah, that's not how it usually works. It's always, you know, I own a leather jacket. That's my personality. So I'm gonna wear it to the beach. Taking the bus to the beach. Got my leather jacket. My mullet. The 2000s. Got my mullet. Cool. Got my baseball hat. Says Coors on it. It came free in a case of Coors. I love Coors. My personality is mostly Coors and this leather jacket. Who wants to hang out? If I could afford a car, let me tell you what this kind of car would be. Have you guys seen the Camaro? I could tell you some stories about Camaros that I've read about in magazines. The cylinders on them? Oh, jam-packed with 4 to 6 cylinders. 8-cylinder? Maybe that's a thing. I don't even know. Don't even know. But then a lady's all like, hey, check it out. I'm wearing a top that if this was the 80s, you know, Sylvester Stallone will be jogging up and down the beach wearing this cropped top. But it isn't that anymore. And I'm just wearing a half a shirt, which still covers up most of everything. And there's still going to be 3 random dudes, you know, within 20 feet going, yeah. Let's say weird things about them after they've passed. Or yell stuff from here. Hey, baby, you have got it going on. Is your daughter named Stacy? 'Cause, let me tell you. And that definitely has to suck and get old real quick. Real quick. When it's like, what did you do today? I tried to wear a shirt. But apparently the future still isn't quite futurified yet. So I can't just enjoy a shirt that I like. Oh, you wear that tight shirt because you're trying to get attention. Nope. Just feel comfortable in this shirt. If I was just at home wearing this shirt and no one was around, I'd still be wearing this shirt because I like this shirt, regardless of what you think. Yeah, you know what I like. I don't know you, sir. I don't want to know you. There's a whole bunch of you that I don't want to know. I just want to exist whilst you exist in your own lane over there. Everybody kind of stay in your lanes. And once again, one of my favorite things about living in Maskland is I don't know, like just going for a walk and then just not even feeling like I don't know, it's been the years of the beard for the last little while. Everybody has a beard like this now, and every so often somebody with a not so great beard, or somebody with an awesome beard, or somebody who can't grow a beard will just be like, hey, that's a great beard though. What? I mean, thanks, I guess, but what? Beards are gross. Beards are gross. This is, you know, same reason most people have a beard. It helps shape your face better than it actually is. And I mean, I shave it pretty close, so this is still basically how my face is shaped. But you know, and uh, and again, same deal. It's cool. And it's just like I like beards, and you can like beards, but Space Goonie doesn't run up on people at the dollar store like, "Hey, excuse me, that's a real good beard." What? I can't even see it right now. I don't even know what it's doing. Oh, damn it. But I am still that person that will say glasses. I'm fully okay with. I think it's okay still, and maybe it's not. Maybe some people are sensitive about their glasses, but I'm always like, oh hey, store lady, cool glasses. Hey store guy, great glasses. If they're great glasses, because so often I'm just like, where are people getting these glasses? I've been to internet glasses places. And I mean, I think these. Am I wearing them? Yeah. I think these red glasses are great, but they're exactly the same as my black glasses. They're exactly the same as my green glasses, but because they're red, that's what makes them great. But every once in a while, just like, oh, these are cool shaped glasses. I want your glasses. Leals, whose name I can never really remember. Uh, but she has cute Cavu. I think it's CUTE_CAVU on Instagram. She does like some cosplay stuff. She's down in Halifax. Back when the comic conventions were a thing. See her there sometimes, and she always has like cool glasses. Like she definitely has like a giant collection of glasses. I mean, I've got a weird little gun rack of glasses by my door now that I made from different wooden things from the dollar store that I painted, and now I officially have more glasses than the glass gun rack can hold. I mean, it only holds 4 pairs of glasses, but two has always been the most I've ever had. And if I ever had more than two, it was well these don't work anymore. These are out, expired prescriptions. But then on the internet, it is like, oh cool, it used to cost me $144 to get a pair of glasses, and the second pair free for $144, or one pair for $144. So the second pair is not free. Never was. Always a scam. And then you go to the internet, and it's just like, for $44, I can still get 2 pairs of glasses? Or one pair of awesome glasses? Like, I mean, some of them aren't the same, but I think my green glasses, only because there's a slight tint on them, so they're mild sunglasses. Like, I think they were less than $30, like, and only because there's a tint on them. But anyway, even a beard compliment is fine. It's still fine because it's just like it's not pervy, it's not creepy, but just the fact that I'm like, hey, that's still kind of weird to just like a stranger out of nowhere. Hey, excuse me, sir, nice beard. Like, okay, thanks. I didn't really do much. I didn't do much. I let it grow and then I cut cut some squares. I guess I don't know. I made some straight lines. So if that is weird, then it's definitely extra weird to be like, hey, that's some good crop top and bikini work over there. Like, yep, there's a handful of people who do want to hear that, but most people don't want to feel like the end of that sentence that you're not saying is, and I'm probably going to follow you home. Like, I think that's the real issue is I know that when somebody says, hey, cool beard, all right, see you never, baby. See you never. But when somebody's just like, hey, you've got a great, I just wanted to say, you look beautiful. Ah, you're a beautiful looking woman. I love that outfit. Hey. The silent part to me always seems like, and I'm gonna follow you if I see you again. And then if they do see you again, they start to develop this thing. You know, again, if you've ever worked at a restaurant, which I never have, but I've had friends that have had real jobs in the world where they don't get to just stay at home all the time. And we've talked about this before, where so often the act of you brought me food and you were nice to me because that's your job, um, and you look nice because well you're also at a job where looking nice and clean and hospitable goes along with getting tipped and or just paid at all. Slash some jobs just straight up are like, hey, you want to work at Boston Pizza? Well, you're going to want to get some tight black pants and a tight shirt. Like, can I just wear? Nope. You're going to want to look super sexy. That's how we roll. And I don't know how strict they are about that nowadays. Probably not. But I remember when Boston Pizza first opened up, it was like, is this borderline Hooters? Why is why is this restaurant so sexy? Why are these clothes so tight? And yeah, the fear to me is, yep, you might get some tips, but then other people are just like, well, you saw how they were dressed. Like, yeah, it's for the tips and slash because their boss made them dress like that. It's the uniform that they had to pay for. Um, and some people just see that as an invitation. And some people aren't good at invitations. So, just like when you have a party and there's always that one person that you kind of don't even want to come to your party, and they're the one that shows up an hour and a half early, like, oh, I showed up to help out. I thought I'd show up and help out. Yay! You came and you're here. Oh, good. This is exactly what I wanted, is to spend more time with you without the buffer of other people. Oh, God. And that person is the one that's, you know, hey, hey, it's me again. Remember me from the other day? I tipped you half decently or not decently at all. I gave you that compliment while you got my matzo sticks. So, you know, you must be falling in love with me, right? Like you've been thinking about me for the past week, like I've been thinking about you. Because, I don't know what it's like to have 600 customers in the run of a week. I've only seen you and my friends and told my friends about how hot you were, and they agreed that, I should probably go back there and politely as possible stalk you. That's the world. Um I'll probably add some color to this and some text later on. We usually do it while I eat my lunch during the day. Add one more spike over here. That is not on the right layer. And there we go. Another comic strip, words and colors to be added about the most cleverly have named Masters of the Universe characters, Panthor, because still a beloved part of my childhood. I think they're making a new Master. I think Kevin Smith is making a Master of the Universe movie. Is that right? I think that's right. I also heard a thing. I want to say I heard this twice, but I think I just watched the same thing twice. But that Panthers aren't a real thing. They're just like a subset of I don't know, like pumas or whatever it is that happen to be like black or that purpley dark color. Much like how it's like, oh my god, we have to save the white rhino and the white tiger. Like, that's not a thing. Save the tiger, save the rhino. But those are just albino versions of that thing that will just happen to happen occasionally in time. Like, there is no, we have to save the albino human because, you know, it's still just a human. We all know that it's not another species, but because humans are stupid and they're just like, that one, huh? It's all white and magical looking and pure. It's just a tiger. Just a tiger. It just doesn't have pigments. Some pigments missing. Sometimes lizards are born with two heads. Anyway, that's a Tuesday. Oh, it's 11:02. Oh my god. I got some animation to do in the morning. Some of you people have actual jobs to get to. Yeah. Thanks once again for hanging out. All the links and all that stuff are at mrcartoons.com. And Instagram, YouTube, books, and such. Always got some projects written on pieces of paper that I will eventually get to every once in a while. And I think that's it. Yeah, I got nothing else either. So yeah, thanks. And this has been a stream. This is drawing comic strips. And as always, will always never stop promising to promise a midweek and weekend video game random stream. But for some reason, even though I complain about it all the time, how there's lots of people that just get to sit there and they're just watching YouTube or they're just playing games. They're not even talking. I'm just like, I have to earn the right to talk to people by doing something else, and that is doing this. Like Maria Bamford used to have her thing where she's like, I would always, I learned violin, so I would do a violin show while just trying to do comedy, which is like, I didn't want to play the violin, but it's like, how would I have earned the right to just talk to people and tell them my stories? And it's just like, just by talking to them and telling them the stories. And I can easily encourage other people to do that every single week, and I will always encourage people, if you have a thing you want to do, just do it. There's a billion channels out there. Why not more? Who cares? And either somebody does enough to be supportive, or nobody cares enough to be disruptive. So either way, there's avenues for everybody, be it real life, podcast wise, stream wise, YouTube wise, TikTok. There's a new thing, stereo app And whatever. So do it. So do it. And that's probably one of my main reasons to join online therapy is, hey, I want to just play video games on the internet today. I'm not good at playing video games, but I mostly just want to tell some stories of the week or make up some random songs to the music that is playing within the video game. And then have a therapist go, yeah, do it then. I want to stay home and be a therapist, and now I can do that thanks to people like you. Like, cool, we both win. And that's, you know, G.I. Joe, always have to battle. Excuse me. That's disgusting. I can't believe we go all this time. You're drinking your juice and you're just going to burp it, and then we're just going to end there on a burp. Unacceptable. Unacceptable. Speaking of unacceptable, Unacceptable Mugs, the new version is available at MrCartoons.com. Society6.com/MrCartoons. And this old version available at the old No Such Thing as Grown Ups Society 6 page that still exists. So find an old episode and find the link from there. The stereo app is, though, where it's like it's like a stream, except people can send you messages, like audio messages, whilst you are doing your stream, which technically people could do that here as well. But I just don't set anything up for that. But realistically, I could be like, hey, Instagram call me, and we'll do a Instagram call-in show while I stream, and your voice will be here, and hopefully it won't be random people saying the N-word or asking what's wrong with you. But the what's wrong with you is fine. I haven't got 1,000 answers for that. But the random, like, hey, I just came on the internet to be racist. Like, don't. That's the one thing. You don't need to make a racist show or be racist. Just find a good thing you want to do. Anyway, Ripley, credits. Excuse me. Good night, everybody. That's been the show. Follow, share, and subscribe on an app you know. Hey!